Hello, everybody. A little quiet because I'm a little tired, and it's about just getting on midnight here locally. This is day 5. This is the conclusion of day 5. I didn't do any traveling. All I did was hung out with my cousin, and we just made up as best we could for the lack of seeing each other in 37 years. They took me to this next town, or well, it was 8-10 miles away, a town called Ottawa. Went to a restaurant called I think it was called Highway, the Highway. Oh, excellent food. I kind of looked up at their sign there, and it said uh, Polish sausaged sauerkraut, and that just sounded cool. So that's what I got. And basically, what it was is that it was um, a couple of Polish sausages cut up, placed over a bed of um, sauerkraut, and then there was these potatoes that I don't know what they did, but man, that they were delicious. And then there was a bowl of green beans, which again was delicious. And then I had a salad with a bread roll. Um, yeah, it was really good. My cousin and her husband had picked up the tab for lunch, and I was like, wasn't expecting that, but we're gonna go hit barbecue tomorrow. So I check out at 11 a.m., which is fine. I'll be out. Excuse me. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I'm kind of tired now. Anyway, I'll be checking out at 11, but I'll be up and about earlier because of course, I need to pack out and about stuff for like breakfast to have. Like cereal and a couple little bottles of milk for my cereal. And so yeah, they're gonna meet me here at about 11. So that's about the time I check out, and we will go hit barbecue, have lunch, hang out before I gotta go on down the next stop, which the next stop is going to be Independence. And if I recall right, I think it was about like 7.5 hours, I'm not sure. So yeah, I need to send a message to Thad to let him know that I'm coming. Interesting fun fact. Tried to pay the toll from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. It was like $17, and I couldn't find it online. I haven't had the opportunity to call them because the one time that I did, they said it was like a 40-minute wait. So I know I'd better get on that soon because it's supposed to be paid within 5 days. Otherwise, it incurs a penalty or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but and then I tried to pay my storage bill, and I called the storage place twice, right? Because it's now the 6th, and well, payment was due on the 5th or by the 5th, but they didn't answer their phone. Like twice today, they didn't answer the phone, and I left them a voicemail, and they still didn't you know, so I'm going to try to call them tomorrow and say, hey, you better make a payment, and no, I'm not paying a late fee because I attempted to call you twice to have you run the payment so that it was on time. So I'm going to have to call them tomorrow at some point as well, within, obviously the business hours, of course. But so upon reflecting on day 5, wouldn't trade it for anything. We spent all day together. It was great. It was good for the soul, reminiscing about old times and loved ones lost. Her mom, her sister are gone. Her grandmother is gone. My grandmother is gone. Her grandmother is my great aunt. So, basically, she's my second cousin. So our grandmothers were sisters. Our mothers were cousins, first cousins. So we are second cousins. And it was just great getting back in touch with my cousin and spending the day with her. And I mean, I know I'm going to see her tomorrow for lunch, but after that, then it's like I got to get on down the road. And to be honest, I'm missing her already. I miss my cousin already. So it just had a great time. Just, and it goes back to talking about how, everything happens for a reason, right? And, I spent almost a year in Kentucky, away from my home in Oregon, away from everything, my sister, my friends, my niece, mom and dad, and other siblings. And, over this past year, I kind of lamented about having made a mistake of coming out here. But in the grand scheme of things, had I never come out here, well, then I never would have went to New Jersey to go meet Ed. I would have never went to Philadelphia, to see the sights, Ben Franklin's grave, the Liberty Bell, Constitution Hall, the Art Museum, Rocky Balboa statue. I would have been okay with not having run across the hustlers that were down there, and to try to hustle you for money and all that. I mean, I could have done without that, but I mean, and then to meet Clyde, and then to meet Alan, and then to be here with my cousin. You can't really put a value on that. You really can't. Those things never would have happened had I stayed home and just kind of sucked it up and been miserable, really. I mean, while I was miserable in Kentucky, the flip side to that is, because of this adventure, because of this particular journey, I'm slowly learning how to be grateful for what I have and to be thankful for what I don't have. To be more positive, or try to be more positive. And then that's kind of the goal really now is like, you know, I'm going to be 48 here on the 26th, 48 years old. And on some level, I feel like a failure of a human being, obviously. And I just get through saying I was going to be positive and not dwell on the negative. But I mean, and I don't say that as to be negative. I'm saying um, it's an acknowledgement of the need for improvement. Because there's always need for improvement. There's always a reason we can excel, or there's always a reason for trying to do better, be better, that sort of thing. So I I'm using that as I'm kind of a failure of a human being, and not trying to dwell on the divorce, not trying to dwell on those things that made me feel like a failure, but instead I'm focusing on the things that I want to accomplish that I haven't yet. And the only way to accomplish those is to set out and put those goals down, and to just, you know, reach those goals, like jump those hurdles and make some accomplishments, you know, and just keep going from there. So Streator, Illinois has been quite the cool little town. When we went over to Ottawa, it was the same thing. Like I said yesterday, or I think I might have mentioned it, but when I came through some of the towns, the little small towns that on my way here, it was like I was transported back in time, right? Um, there was one town where there was some areas of it that looked like I was back in the 1920s. So it looked like I was, wow, that was the other side of town here in Streator. That it looks like I've been transported 100 years back in time. And there was a little bit of that there in Ottawa as well, where you see some of the architecture and you're like, wow, this is some really old stuff, really, takes you back to yesteryear. And then you get past that and you see all the modernization, and it's like, oh, okay, now we're back in modern times here. But it was, I love those small towns like that. I love seeing those areas that where it looks like they didn't change in 100 years. They've just kind of kept their originality, I guess, as it were. So that's been really cool. And I just, you know, I'm kind of liking this side of the country. I mean, not enough to live here, not enough to move here, but I'm definitely appreciating it. And I've appreciated just about every experience I've had so far on this tour, on this journey. And I'm just so humbled and just loving the fact that I'm just having a good time here. I'm loving the fact that I'm you know, seeing some cool sights, meeting some new people, reconnecting with you know, people that I haven't seen in a long time. Like my cousin. So so Thad, if you're watching, I'll message you, but Laura, if you're watching as well, I'll be in your area soon, like sometime tomorrow. And then I'll come hang with you guys because, well, to be quite honest, I'll need a night to crash. So, um, and it'll be good to see you guys again, obviously. And it'll be good to see that really cool arcade that Thad put up in the basement there. I'm really looking forward to visiting and seeing that. So that, and keeping my promise for that video game that you gave me. You asked me to come back around this way. I'm coming back around that way. So keeping my promise there. So amazing day. Looking forward to. I mean, on one hand, I'm not looking forward to leaving, right? Because I've reconnected with my cousin, and there's still so much to catch up on, but time being what it is, and I got to get back out on the road. It'll be bittersweet. It's sweet spending time with my cousin, but it's bitter when I have to leave and go on down the road. But this journey has been amazing, and I've loved every minute of it. Well, maybe not the stressful parts of traffic and excessive tolls and all that stuff, but it's been a good day. It's been a good week. It's been a good journey. Sent some pictures to Steve, or not Steve, Shane. Sent some pictures to Shane, of those sites that I promised I'd send to him, and so he got to he finally got to see those pictures of the Liberty Bell and the Rocky statue, and what else did I send him? Oh, Franklin's grave, Ben Franklin's grave, and in Constitutional Hall. There is one picture where I have the Philadelphia Mint is like right behind me, and I guess they offer tours of that too, but they only do that Monday through Friday for obvious reasons, because, well, that's when they're open. So, and it's probably one of those things where it's one of those places where you can do a tour, but you can't have any kind of recording devices on you or anything like that. So, it's kind of like the Corvette Museum was cool. You can take pictures there, but if you were to do the tour of the factory down there in Bowling Green, Kentucky, if you were to do a tour of the factory, they don't allow you to have any kind of recording devices. Your cell phone, you can't even have it on your person. I don't know if that means that they put them in lockers for you, or where you're just supposed to just leave it locked up in your car when you come on the tour. I don't know, but I suspect it's probably something along those lines where the proprietary nature necessitates them ensuring that you don't have any sort of recording device, whether it's photographic or video. So, yeah, there's that. But it's been great. I've had quick conversations with some folks back. A friend in Tennessee I reached out to, one of my old coworkers. She responded to me. She got back to me and apologized for that we didn't get together. Her and her boyfriend and a couple other coworkers. I mean, I wanted for all of us to get together, and unfortunately that never happened. But then she come down with a little bit of food poisoning, so here's hoping that she's feeling better here real soon. She's a good kid, and I miss her a lot. So I miss all of them. Missing my friends at Plasticon. I'm missing my friends at Home Depot. Love all of you guys, but at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you, and what's best for me is to, what's best for me and what's best for my heart is to go back home. Go back home to be with family and friends that love and care for me, and family and friends that I love and care about, and just kind of carve my own little niche in the world. So there's that. And it's been just about, over 20 minutes now. So I'm going to cut this done now. Call this day 5 conclusion, or the conclusion of day 5, what have you. And, I was up 50-50 of whether or not I was even going to do a video for today anyway, because it wasn't really a travel day, but it was no less important for the journey home. It was necessary. It was, a day spent with kin that, I haven't seen in, again, 37 years. So it's day 5 is just as important as the rest of them. So with that, I am going to go to bed because it's late. Well, it's not too terribly late, but it's late enough that I really need to go to bed, get a good night's sleep, so I can do final pack out and go have lunch with my cousin one more time. Cousin and her husband. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave him out. He's a really cool guy. He's a good guy, and I see the two of them kind of interact with each other, and it's great because they really feed off of each other really well. They sponge off of each other really well, or they're like a dynamic duo. I mean, it warms my heart to see her happy. So with that, I'm going to bed so I can go to sleep. I'm going to bed so I can get up, early enough to have a little quick bite of breakfast and do final pack out, so then I can meet with the cousins to go have lunch and then down the road. So with that, I bid you all a good night, and do take care of yourselves and each other, for sure, and just enjoy life for what it is, because it's not all bad, and there's still a lot of good in this world. We just, sometimes it's just so small we don't notice it. So, like the old cliche says, like, you got to take time to smell the roses. So yeah, be well, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy trails. Good night.